2022 Royal Palm Beach Strikers monthly soccer board meeting. Please rise for the Pledge of Allegiance.
Pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
All right, we will begin. Well, first off, welcome back, everyone. We're going to begin tonight's meeting with myself, Treasurer Amy Santiago, Board Member Amanda Lamb, and Village Liaison Brandon Pendergrass. Still expecting a few more board members to arrive, but we'll get started with business until they get here, I guess. Reading and approval of, can't do that, right?
Right.
Can't
Yeah,
do
no,
that.
can't
All right.
can't approve it.
President's report, nothing going on. Any open comments for membership? Apparently not, so we'll move forward. Unfinished business. We can't, because you can't vote on it. Game schedule for the fall season. It's tentatively set for September 5th. And tentatively it will be ending on November 12th. That will be for the fall recreation season. We'll have to, at the next meeting, I guess, we'll have to discuss specifically the breaks and everything that we have incorporated into the schedule, so we know, so that we can kind of plan on things. Picture day, all that kind of stuff. Brandon, concession and storage door repairs. I don't know if you guys have had an opportunity to get out there and kind of take a look at those doors and see if there's anything that could be done with them, like the locking mechanism in the back, on the back storage, the top lock.
Mm-hmm.
You have to like really push the door
Yeah.
to line it up. And
No.
I know there was an issue with the concession door, last month. I don't know if anybody ever got around to that yet or not.
The main door.
Yeah.
Yeah. No, they haven't. Those two they haven't gotten around to yet. They've been working with the guys and trying to get the fields right now. So
All right.
once this week they'll be starting laying sod, and once that's down, they'll start working on the building.
Alrighty.
Can I jump in? I don't know. I don't think I ever sent you the pictures, but the countertop on one spot inside the concession kind of got messed up.
Okay.
Needs to be replaced. So I mean, I know we were kind of talking about possible replacement of cabinets, this and that. I don't know. I guess I could send you a picture so you know
Yeah,
what it looks like.
I'll go check it out. Take some pictures of it and start seeing what we can do with that.
Yeah, and I'll talk to you later about it.
Okay.
All right, and which leads us into field maintenance, and Brandon just touched base on that. Just for clarification, ending day, what is there a set day or a guesstimate with regards to completion of the fields?
Right now is just a guesstimate. It really depends on how fast they get the sod down.
All right, and that zones A through D, correct?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. It should. We're hoping to be back up. I'll say by second week in August.
All right.
But like I said, it's really dependent on how long it takes to get the rest of that sod down. They couldn't do a lot today because of all the rain from yesterday and the flooding.
All right.
But that's what they're doing this week. So probably by the end of the week, we'll have a better estimate, and I'll let you know where we are with that.
All right. Alrighty. Vanessa Donadio, Vice President, is now present. So let's jump back to the Treasurer's Report. Amy, if you'd like to go over the recreational Treasurer's Report for the month of
May.
May.
Right. Okay. So the checking account started with 42,832.55, ended with 40,571.75. The savings account, 10,671.30, ended with 10,671.66.
Motion to accept the recreational part of the checking and the savings account. Checking account 42,832 and 55 cents. Checking ending in 40,571 and 75 cents. Saving started at 10,671 and 30 cents, and 10,671 and 66 cents it ended in.
I second that.
All right, any opposed? All right, we will accept the recreational treasurer's report for the month of May 2022. And we'll move on to the registrar and referee report. Our registrar and referee assigner is not present. So we will continue with where we left off previously. New business, Amanda, if you wanted to speak about the equipment kits for the coaches that you were talking about.
Yes, I was hoping that we would get some just light carrying bags. I know we provide the travel coaches with the nicer bags, but I'm just thinking, we talked to
Just
the
the
mesh,
mesh.
the bags with like maybe 6 balls and then some cones just to, and have them sign them out and then expect and make it clear that they're to be returned regardless of whether they're coming back or not.
All right.
I would be more than happy to get those together over the summer because I'm down right now, so this is like my good planning time to get everything done.
Oh,
So as long
they
as we can
be-
approve.
and we can say something like, the trophies or whatever don't get handed out without the equipment being
Right.
returned.
Can I modify that to like 3 balls? Okay. And the only reason being that we tell all the kids have to have a ball. So why do they need 6 balls for the team? They don't.
I'm good
You
with
know?
the 3.
Okay.
Yeah, they can just use them as game balls.
Well, not as the game balls, but this is
No, but
if
that
a
way
kid
they don't-
forgets a ball or something,
Right.
you have a ball
Yeah.
or something. And then
Okay, so-
we normally get like a little bit higher level for the games.
And then
not
if
much
we
for
want to
rec.
give them,
Not much for rec, but-
we want to throw in pennies as well.
Yes. Oh, sorry. Yeah. So,
So we'll do cones,
balls,
pennies,
pennies,
and
and
3 balls.
cones.
And that should be enough.
No, I mean, 24 cones. Would that be good?
How many?
24? That might
24?
be-
I'm just trying to figure if you're
And are
doing
we
2
thinking
rows.
the little discs or the?
No, the little half discs. Yeah.
Okay.
It's all different. You can get a whole. Like I was thinking just to buy
Yeah.
them in bulk and then
Get 'em in
separate them
bulk
out.
and you
So
separate.
I mean, it's really just a
We'll
matter
give
of.
'em- we'll give 'em like, I'd say like 20 cones.
Okay, 20 cones. And then a set, what are we going to do, like a dozen pennies? Or do we do less than that? Because they only need for half their team.
I'll do
so
10 pennies.
10 pennies, okay. And then the mesh bags.
But it is
Well,
what it
the
is.
smaller ones, I mean, yeah, there are some still in there, so we just have to see.
I had heard a lot since we
Yeah.
were with the uniform situation last season.
There's a lot in there. Thanks a lot.
Just as long as, I mean, I'll start pricing everything out and then we'll go from there.
I have a vendor that can give you the pennies and probably the mesh bag and the balls where I get them from.
So it's just a matter of cones. Like I think Fernando said that the cones usually he got from Amazon. So it's just a matter of finding out who can give
We
us
need
the
them
most
anyways
for
for
the less.
competitive too, because
Just thinking here for a second. Maybe with the uniform order, have them throw in with score. Maybe when you talk to score,
Okay.
they should give us some little freebie things. Let's try to get as many.
Giving us pennies before,
Let's
maybe?
try to get some pennies and some cones from score.
even the mesh bags too. 'Cause we get
Yeah, whatever we can get
some
out of them as much as we do it.
I'm assuming you're taking over that,
And if you
right,
can,
or not.
So I talked to Sean. I just mentioned to Sean, and he did say that yes, he would like to do that, and he would get with me this summer. We have yet to talk, but
Like
I
that
would-
he would like to hand it off or something, right, yes.
Alright. And maybe just let score know that there's another company out there that's offering us all these incentives to go with them. That may give them incentive to hook us up. What's it? 6:45. Motion. Somebody like to do that?
6:45 motion to end the recreational part of the meeting.
I second that motion.
Okay. opposed? Approved. The rec portion of the board meeting is adjourned at 6:45 p.m. and Sean would be very, very proud of me since we'll start at 6:35. That was 5 minutes. Just put that down in the record books, I would think. Alrighty. Call for order for competitive at 6:45. President's report and DOC report. Tryouts finished. Good turnout. Still waiting on some things to be concluded. I anticipate the program to have grown this season once everything settles down and everything's completed. That's what I'm hoping. I think you're in agreement with me.
I do.
We should be. We still have quite a bit, but I think we just gotta push forward on some stuff. Treasurer's report, Amy.
All right, so competitive checking started with 122,196.66, ended with 95,670.67. The savings started with 10,029.39, ended with 10,029.73. Stipends started with 25,550, ended with 10,200.
Motion to accept the competitive portion of the accounts. Competitive checking started with 122, 196, 66 ended with 95,670 and 67 cents. Competitive savings started with $10,029.39, ending in $10,029.73. The stipend account started with $25,550 and ended with $10,200 even.
I second that motion.
Any opposed? Alrighty, we will accept and approve the treasurer's report for the competitive program. League reports, nothing to speak of at this time. However, we are having one of our teams, at least for now, participate in the EDP League. That would be our U12 boys black team. They'll be participating in that, so they'll be the first team in our program to kind of test the waters with that league, and some may be included after that. We shall see. Open comments from membership regarding the competitive program, nothing. Unfinished business, field closures, we've discussed that with Brandon already. Zones A through D are closed and will continue to be closed until the second week of August, which then would put us in a position for our competitive teams, Brandon. We're going to need field space because the competitive season, like to start probably, maybe the second last week of July, maybe. And I don't know if we can do something similar to last year with the elementary school, with Crestwood, and I don't know if there's a way to even use the high school also, if you want to speak with Eric over there.
Yeah, I'll see if I can.
And maybe we can throw at least our bigger teams over there so they have some decent field space and
Okay.
portable goals. But if you guys can look into the high school, that would be great for us. Also, Seminole obviously would be another
Yeah.
option.
It's gonna be a
I think Seminole's in the same boat though.
Yeah, it's gonna be a juggling act. So Seminole will kind of be in that same boat because what fields at 9 and 10 are gonna get shut down here this upcoming week for a little while, pending on the damage from them. Will depend on how long that'll be. So I'll know probably next week what that's gonna be, what they're gonna have to do there. Hopefully it's not too much. Bad thing, the elementary school where we used to use that field right there, the lights on that are bad. So
we didn't have lights we didn't have lights.
Oh, do you use the lights there?
When we used them, we didn't have them, so we kind of had to do everything ahead of time.
Early.
We did
Oh,
it
okay.
early over there.
Well, in that case, then
I think we had to be out of there by 8:30 because that's when the lights
I
started going
forgot
out.
what it was,
Yeah,
but
'cause the-
remember we got out early because there wasn't lighting, but we started I think at 5:30
Yeah.
to 6 o'clock or something like that.
yeah, that we can make work because over there, and it's gonna be kind of that whole park wide. But those lights, especially on field 3 right there, those lights right now are non-functional.
All right.
But like I said, if you get in and out before it gets dark and we can use them, we'll make that work, and I'll get with the with Crestwood too, see what we can do, because it's gonna take a little
Bouncing around, and
bouncing
like I say,
around, but
and we're only talking about. I mean, when you think about it, we're talking about what 2 weeks in July.
I was about to say yeah,
And all of August.
yeah,
So what 6 weeks?
yeah, maybe a month and a half, so it shouldn't be too bad.
So, and then and we spoke about this previously when I came by, if we can start planning for usage of Seminole once September hits,
Mhm.
because we're definitely going to need that with, for some of our competitive teams. It got too much for cats to handle.
Okay.
That may be in part why so much usage and the wear and tear on the field. I'm sure it didn't help, but also that we should have some more, additional kids out there, so we're gonna have more teams, which is gonna require more space.
Okay.
So, and ideally, what we would be asking for would be Monday through Thursday. I know in the past we used to have Monday from 6 to 9. Wednesday. I don't think we had Wednesday at all, and that killed us. And then Tuesday 6 to 8. But if there's a way to Tuesday and Thursday 6 to 8. But if there's a way if we can go 6 to 9 on that somehow. And again, just try to give as much time prep wise, just to ensure that we have some space there where we can count on it for those 4 days of the week.
All right.
Referee assignments, I put this on all the time. Just want good refereeing, and just I'm not going to get into that. Coaching assignments, with the exception of a team or two for competitive, those are all completed. Just holding off on a couple things before I make some final assignments for the coaches. New business, registration and team creations. This is where Vanessa comes into play. It's been hell this season.
I agree.
And if you can just quickly at least let the other board members know the difference between Team Snap, Got Sport, who pays where, what, how, what's important, what's not important.
Okay, so this season, due to Got Sport, where everybody had to actually register as a new user, because last season a lot of the migration came into effect with Shinoy, our register, being able to transfer over some of our players and not having to have the parents register. So with it this season, having everybody to register as new users, I had to create an email that had 2 links. One that goes through TeamSnap so that they have the binding contract and sign it and everything. And then it refers to a second link which goes through Got Sport for them to be able to register, because they have to put in their child's information and go through it that way. And with Got Sport, there's no way to not have an amount added as part of the registration process. So it's confused a lot of people thinking that they have to pay double, because with Team Snap, even though I've had a instructions manual that clearly states that you don't have to do that, it's only for counting purposes. So I need to have really an email created, because a lot of my emails went through spam and weren't received. So I need to get a non-reply email at Royal Palmy Strikers or something, so that they realize that it's coming from Royal Palmy Strikers and not my personal email.
If I can hold you up, do does the village use a computer IT company person, something
For
just for your IT needs?
no, we have our
Just your own department?
just our own department of it. Yeah.
Right. We need to do something. Guy, I mean, this, I've been struggling with this for 2 years now, where I can't send emails out, and it's trickled down to Vanessa and Amy. Some people hit or miss. My thing is, I can receive everything, but it won't even send it out at all. It's not like it goes into spam or anything like that. Yeah, it just gets kicked back. Something's going on. I don't know if it.
And Amy's is hit or miss on the treasurer one, depending
Yeah.
on the email link.
Nobody's went through, so then I had to go for my other, but I had set up another striker,
And what's happening is we're having to use our personal email addresses to send things out, which I'm not a fan of because I get bombarded with just normal stuff as opposed to the soccer stuff on top of it.
Mhm.
And the got sport, that great, that's fantastic and all that, but you have to set up some distribution group, which I still don't know how to use. And I manage. It just takes forever. I send some things out, or I'll use the same. It's just hard. I'd like to just be able to be like a normal person and send an email out, like when I want to send an email out without going through some fancy thing. But if any of you know, and again, I'm not looking for, I'm not looking to help like a local guy out or this or that. I mean, I want like somebody that, we need somebody that knows what the hell's going on. We're dealing with like a lot of things here. And a lot of this stuff is like private stuff, that we have to ensure that it's going into, to proper, people and not going into hacking things or whatever. But if you guys can ask around, look around, that would be great. That's it. Go ahead, Vanessa, if you had anything else on the team snappers.
So it's confusing a lot of people, like I said, and I've had to probably send out these invitation emails 6, 7 times to each person. They keep saying they don't get it. I don't know what's going on. I've now tried to involve the coaches because I think these blind emails are just going unread or in spam, or they just, delete them because they don't know where it's coming from. So moving forward, I definitely want to change the process as far as once these tryouts are over and the invitation process. I really want it to be more of a personal thing with the coach calling these players like it used to be and letting them know they've been accepted into and chosen for the program, and then have them send this email out so they know it's coming from them, and to follow up after. Because between Mal and I having to follow up and emailing and the calls and the questions, it's been
This whole
horrible.
system, and Vanessa can back me on this whole process and the way that things were done this season has cost us probably 50 kids in our competitive program that are still waiting around. Like, we haven't gotten an invitation. We haven't gotten it. Of course you got an invitation. Of course you made the team. I mean, you're a returning play. You know what I mean? It's really frustrating because we're trying to create teams, and okay, there's like 3 people on this team. Well, like, where are the rest of the kids? Like why aren't we getting through to them? Doesn't help when we don't have coaches calling or whatever. Just
It can't just be put up on us.
mhm.
It really, I mean, these coaches, if they want a team too, they have to kind of go out there and hustle.
Okay. But moving along. Not to cut you off, Vanessa, but I'm just getting a little for next board meeting. What I'd like you guys and other people to start thinking about is removing board members that are currently on the board, and me possibly appointing some board members next month. Because here's the deal: this isn't working anymore. This stopped working a while ago. When it's 6:35 and there's 2 people here, that's a problem. Okay? When an hour before a board meeting every month somebody comes down with some illness an hour before the board meeting, that's a problem. When somebody has a specific task on the board, that's what their responsibility is, and you're having to beg for things to be done, that's not how you run this program. So this no longer works. If this works for everybody else the way it is, I will be more than happy to step down and allow the rest of the board to function in a manner with which you guys want to function. But this isn't for me anymore. At least not the way we're doing here. Alrighty. I know what I do. I know what she does. And I shouldn't be talking to her all night long. I shouldn't be texting her throughout the day. I shouldn't be asking her to do this and do that when other people are supposed to be doing this. And that's it. Enough's enough. So one of the things that we as a board are able to do, and me as the president is able to do, is to remove people from the board. I don't have a problem with that. Or I can remove myself, and you guys keep everything as is, and whatever it takes. But I will no longer operate this way. And I spoke to Brandon about this earlier. It's enough's enough. And it was, I think when I saw how much we grew at tryouts, when I saw the level of interest that people want to come and play for Royal Palm, it's for a reason. It's because of all the hard work. It's the people in the past who put their sweat and tears into it and everything. And then for us to lose these people because we just don't know how to, here, sign a piece of paper. I mean, that's all it requires. And it's like, really? We don't have people to do that? We don't have people to send a link out? My last thing here is assistance with registrations. Amanda, I'm going to ask you to be Vanessa's assistant, basically, in that category where Vanessa can show you how to do things. You can assist in the process. If Vanessa were to pass out and fall out one day, at least somebody's available to do that. If the same thing were to happen to me, I know for the most part Vanessa can do what I'm doing. Amy's been doing this long enough. She understands the system. She can do this, Fernando with the scheduling and all that stuff. He's done his own thing. He's figured it out. It's all I'm asking for, guys, is people just to do. We've got a good thing here. We've got a good thing here. We are a very, very relevant program. We have more votes in the state of Florida than I would say 85% of the other clubs, because of the size of our recreation program and our competitive program. And it's like what do they say, that thing, you build a field and they'll come, or whatever it is. We've built the program, they're coming, and it's like, now we don't know what to do with them? Really? Because that's what, so we need like the village to help us with that too. I mean, with the fields, like we need to be able to accommodate, like space-wise, for the level we've grown at, while at the same time we need people behind the scenes being able to make this as efficient as possible so that we can continue to grow. We are the largest sports provider in the village. I mean, we are let's even take that bait. We are the largest youth sports program in the village. Am I correct? All righty. That's pretty cool. That's a pretty good thing to do, and it took a lot of hard work to get there. And you guys weren't around years ago. The battles that used to be had, meetings and Brandon, this was before your time. You can ask, this was before Mike's time even. Lou was around for all that. Yeah. Lou will tell you, like, the battles that had to be fought to keep this program going in the right direction, as opposed to letting some get in and kind of try to, do their own agenda without what we're actually here for. Yeah. So if anybody has suggestions for people or whatever, then so be it. But something has to change. The more the merrier. And then you know what? We can be selective. That's not like we're taking everybody. You know, if we take 1, 2, 3, whatever. I want people that are going to work. I want people that. Yeah. Well, this is Sean being gone is part of the reason. Because, and again, what Sean was doing like 2 to 3 people's work. And it's like, and it's like, boy, it took a couple of months for us to really feel it, but each month it got worse, and it's like, yeah, we got to pick up the slack in this area, and again, no hard feelings. I love everybody that's on this board. I love everybody that's been on this board. And it's no hard feelings, no nothing. But man, it's like I know me individually, like personally, I can't keep doing this the way it is. And Vanessa knows more than anybody else, and it's like I can't do this anymore. So that's it. And on that note, if somebody would like to motion so we can get out of here.
Motion to end the competitive portion of Royal Palm Beach Strikers meeting at 7:08 p.m.
I'll second.
All right, we're adjourned.